Hi students, this is Bhagwan Reddy, Faculty of Chemistry. So, in the last class we discussed about sulfuric acid, properties, chemical properties. So, the properties of sulfuric acid can be broadly divided into four types. First one, properties due to its acidic nature. Second one, properties due to its dehydrating nature. And third one, properties due to its low volatility or less volatile nature. And fourth one, properties due to its oxidizing power. So among these four properties, already we completed two types of properties. Properties due to acidic nature and properties due to what sir? That dehydrating property. Next, chemical properties. Third type are chemical properties or properties due to less volatility. Chemical properties are chemical reactions due to less volatility. Here H2SO4 is less volatile in nature. Almost we'll say non-volatile in nature. Due to its non-volatility, so it can decompose. What sir? It can decompose. Due to its non-volatile nature, it can decompose salts of volatile acids. Salts of volatile acids like HCl, HBr, HI. Next, that is H2CO3. Next, HNO3, etc. So, here as sulfuric acid is non-volatile in nature and as it is strong acid, it can decompose salts of volatile acids. Clear? So, in this if we observe, it can decompose if we observe the different types of reaction. Generally, we can write this one as, let us consider MX is the salt of volatile acid. When it is treated with H2SO4 sulfuric acid, then we'll get what sir? That the metal sulfate is formed along with the formation of HX. Volatile acid is produced. So like this we can say, in this way here, it can decompose salts of volatile acids. Clear? In this example if we take, when NaCl is treated with sulfuric acid, when NaCl is treated with sulfuric acid, then what happens? NaCl is the salt of sodium salt of HCl, volatile acid. So that H2SO4 can decompose NaCl to form NaHSO4. Salt of sulfuric acid is formed, sodium hydrogen sulfate. Sodium hydrogen sulfate is formed plus H2O is formed plus HCl is formed. So that is sodium bisulfate and HCl is formed like this. So we are getting hydrochloric acid, volatile acid. Similarly, if we take KNO3, potassium nitrate, so that is potassium salt of nitric acid. So when this is treated with sulfuric acid, what will be formed sir? KHSO4, potassium hydrogen sulfate is formed along with the formation of HNO3, nitric acid. Similarly, whenever it is treated with, that is Na2CO3, sodium carbonate, it can decompose the sodium carbonate to form sodium sulfate along with the formation of CO2. CO2 is evolved. Like this it can decompose what sir? That salts of volatile acids. But in case of what sir here? But metal bromides and metal iodides when treated with sulfuric acid, then also will get hydrobromic acid and hydroiodic acid will expect. For suppose, if it is, that is sodium iodide is there. When it is treated with sulfuric acid, then what will expect sir? NaHSO4 is and HI is expected. These are the expected products. So the expected product is hydroiodic acid is expected product. But here the original product is not hydroiodic acid, not HI. The original product is I2 in this reaction. In the reaction of sodium iodide with sulfuric acid. Sir, why I2 is formed as a product here means that here in first step HI is formed, but this HI again it is a strong reducing agent, so it immediately react with sulfuric acid which is an oxidizing agent, so that this H2SO4 can oxidize the formed HI into iodine furtherly easily. Clear? So the further HI is further oxidized to iodine easily by the action of sulfuric acid. Clear? So like this we can say this is so what kind of statement we can give, Nana? When iodides or bromides or iodides are treated with sulfuric acid, then the sulfuric acid can decompose the bromides, metal bromides and metal iodides into HBr and HI. Thus the formed HBr and HI, as they are strong reducing agent, they are further converted into respective halogens, that is bromine and iodine. Clear? So what we can say, sir? We can write that when metal iodides and bromides are treated with sulfuric acid, then HI and HBr are formed, and these are further oxidized to iodine and bromine respectively. Further oxidized to iodine and bromine. For suppose if we take sodium iodide is there, when it is treated with sulfuric acid, then what happens, sir? We'll get sodium bisulfate plus what is formed? HI is formed. Clear? Now whatever the formed HI, that is here, if we take 2 moles of this one, 2 moles of sulfuric acid, 2 moles of sodium bisulfate and 2 moles of HI. Now whatever the formed HI is there, this is a strong reducing agent, so that's why it immediately reacts with oxidizing agent sulfuric acid to form what, sir? That is here I2 is formed. What is formed? I2 along with the formation of what, sir? That is H2O and SO2. H2 and SO2 is formed. So like this we can say here 2H2O is formed. So then what we can say, sir, overall reaction is what, sir? 2HI gets cancelled, then 2NaI plus 3H2SO4 gives 2NaHSO4 and HI is cancelled plus 2H2O plus SO2 plus I2 is liberated. Actually we'll expect the reaction will be stopped at the formation of HI, but the reaction will be stopped at the formation of I2, not at HI. Why? Because the formed HI, whatever here formed, this HI is what, sir? It is a strong reducing agent. As it is reducing agent, it is immediately attacked by another molecule of H2SO4 which is oxidizing agent. This is oxidizing agent. Sulfuric acid is oxidizing agent. This is reducing agent. Immediately these two react with each other to form iodine. This is about reactions which are related with what, sir? Less volatility of sulfuric acid. Similarly, if you take bromides also same reaction is observed. Clear? So then next properties. The next type of properties are reactions due to oxidizing property. Here concentrated H2SO4 is concentrated H2SO4 act as strong oxidizing agent. Concentrated sulfuric acid can act as oxidizing agent. Here, how it acts as oxidizing agent means H2SO4 itself it convert into H2O plus SO2 plus nascent oxygen. When this nascent oxygen is added to other substances, then other substances can undergo oxidation. Clear? So like this we can say it can act as strong oxidizing agent. So here it can oxidize, what sir? It can oxidize non-metals into their oxides. So concentrated sulfuric acid can oxidize non-metals into their respective oxides. Example, when a concentrated sulfuric acid is treated with carbon, it can oxidize carbon to carbon dioxide, and itself it is reduced to sulfur dioxide. So it can oxidize carbon to carbon dioxide, and itself it is reduced to sulfur dioxide and water, like this we can say. Here in this case, if we take here 2 moles of this one, here we will get 2SO2 plus 2H2O balanced. 2 to the 4 plus 2, 6 plus 2, 8 oxygens. Clear? So like this we can say it can oxidize carbon to carbon dioxide. Similarly, it can oxidize non-metals, that is sulfur to sulfur dioxide. It can oxidize sulfur to sulfur dioxide. Clear? Along with the formation of H2O. Here if we take this one, sulfur to sulfur dioxide means here 2 moles, 2 to the 4, then 3SO2 if we take, this is the balanced. So like this it can oxidize sulfur to sulfur dioxide. Similarly, it can oxidize other non-metals like what sir? Phosphorus, white phosphorus to phosphoric acid, means here you got the exemption. Generally it can oxidize non-metals into their respective oxides, but it can oxidize white phosphorus to what sir? Phosphoric acid. Why? Because their P4O10 is formed, which immediately dissolves in water to form phosphoric acid, along with the formation of what sir? That is SO2. So in this way it can oxidize white phosphorus to phosphoric acid. Clear? So this is about another reaction there is also formed. Then if we take here 4H3PO4, then next 10SO2 if we take here 10H2SO4, then 4 4s are 16 plus 20, 2s are 20, 4 3s are 12, so that here 4H2O, then 4 plus 24 plus 16, 40, yes 40 balanced. So it can oxidize white phosphorus to what sir? Phosphoric acid, H3PO4. What is this one sir? Phosphoric acid. Like this it can oxidize that non-metals into their respective oxides, but white phosphorus to phosphoric acid. Clear? So this is regarding what sir? Oxidizing properties. And in addition to this, it can oxidize compounds. It can oxidize some compounds, right or not? Like some compounds like HBr, HI, H2S, etc. It can oxidize some compounds like HBr, HI, H2S, etc. like this. When concentrated sulfuric acid is treated with HBr, then we'll get what sir? Here bromine is formed along with the formation of H2O and SO2. So similarly it can oxidize what sir? Hydrogen iodide to iodine. It can oxidize hydrogen bromide to bromine, hydrogen iodide to iodine, along with the formation of H2 and SO2. Here itself it is reduced to SO2. So by balancing this one here, if you take 2HBr, then 2H2O like this, here 2HI, 2H2O, SO2 like this we can say. This is about oxidation. And when concentrated sulfuric acid is treated with H2S, it can oxidize hydrogen sulfide to sulfur, -2 to 0, along with the formation of H2O and SO2. Clear? So like this we can say it can oxidize hydrogen sulfide to sulfur. So in this way we can say the oxidizing properties. Similarly, it can oxidize some metals, or it can oxidize metals like copper, lead, silver, etc. into their sulfates. So concentrated sulfuric acid can oxidize what, sir? These copper, lead, silver like metals into their respective oxides. Here when concentrated sulfuric acid is treated with copper, when copper turnings are gently heated with concentrated sulfuric acid, then what will get, sir? We will get cupric sulfate along with the formation of SO2 gas and H2O. So SO2 gas is evolved here. So in this way we can say this is 2H2O, like this we can say. So it can oxidize copper to cupric sulfate. 0 oxidation state, here it is +2 oxidation state. So in this way it can oxidize some metals into their respective sulfates. Clear? So these are the oxidizing properties of what, sir? Concentrated sulfuric acid. It can act as strong oxidizing agent. Clear? Next, another type of reactions, fifth type of reactions I am taking, miscellaneous reactions. Miscellaneous reactions. So what about the miscellaneous reactions? And that means other reactions if you take. Miscellaneous reactions if you observe, that is here. In that first one I am taking, that is a thermal decomposition. In miscellaneous reactions if you observe, thermal decomposition of H2SO4. When H2SO4 is strongly heated, it dissociates into, that is H2O and SO3. But this reaction is reversible. So on strong heating it dissociates into water and SO3, where this is what's, sir? Reversible reaction. And the second one, that is a reaction with SO3. Reaction with SO3. H2SO4 sulfuric acid can absorb SO3 sulfur trioxide into it to form H2S2O7. H2S2O7. What is this one, sir? This is oleum. What, sir? Oleum or fuming sulfuric acid. Fuming sulfuric acid. Like this we can say, here when sulfur trioxide gas is passed into the sulfuric acid, then we will get sulfuric acid can absorb sulfur trioxide into it to form oleum. Clear? So this is about another reaction with SO3, another miscellaneous reactions, means other reactions. And next if we go for the third reaction, that is a reaction with PCl5. Reaction with PCl5. Here this concentrated sulfuric acid reacts with sulfuric acid, reacts with PCl5. So sulfuric acid reacts with PCl5 in 2 steps to form, means it reacts with 2 moles of PCl5 to form SO2Cl2 along with the formation of POCl3 and HCl. So in this way, sulfuric acid on reaction with PCl5. What is PCl5? Phosphorus pentachloride gives SO2Cl2. What is SO2Cl2, sir? This is sulfuryl chloride. So sulfuryl chloride is formed. So in this we can write the structure like this as double bond O, Cl, Cl. Like this we can say sulfuryl chloride. So in this way sulfuryl chloride is formed by the action of PCl5 on sulfuric acid. Clear? So like this we can say this is about reaction with PCl5. And another reaction, precipitation reactions. Precipitation reactions. So what about the precipitation reactions? Precipitation reactions here sulfuric acid can form precipitates. It can form white precipitate with salts of barium and lead. So it can form white precipitate with the salts of barium and lead. But suppose if you take a barium chloride solution, when aqueous solution of barium chloride is treated with sulfuric acid, then we will get barium sulfate plus HCl. Barium sulfate plus HCl. This barium sulfate is insoluble in water, hence it is formed as precipitate. It will be in what color, sir? White color. So white PPT is formed, that is barium sulfate. Clear? Next, if we take lead nitrate, another lead salt. Lead nitrate when treated with sulfuric acid, then we'll get lead sulfate, white PPT, along with the formation of HNO3. In this way, here sulfuric acid can give white precipitation with salts of barium and lead. Even lead acetate if we take. What is this one, sir? This is lead acetate. When lead acetate is treated with sulfuric acid, then what will get, sir? PbSO4, lead sulfate is formed. This is white PPT along with the formation of acetic acid. In this way, here it can, this sulfuric acid can give white precipitation with salts of barium and lead due to the formation of metal sulfates, which are barium sulfate, lead sulfate. These are insoluble in water, so they are formed as precipitates like this. Clear? So these are some other, what's are miscellaneous reactions. And some more, so these are the chemical properties of what, sir? Sulfuric acid. Then next, here we are going to discuss about uses of sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid has wide range of importance. It's a most useful chemical, that's why it is called as king of chemicals. Why? Because the sulfuric acid is used in the preparation of many industrial chemicals. It has a wide range of applications. So that's why it is called as king of chemicals. So first one, it is used in the preparation of fertilizers, the manufacture of fertilizers. Like, that is sulfuric acid is widely used in the preparation of fertilizers like ammonium sulfate, ammonium phosphate, next superphosphate of lime, etc. Superphosphate of lime, etc. So in the preparation of these fertilizers like ammonium sulfate, ammonium phosphate, superphosphate of lime, what is used? Sulfuric acid is used. Clear? Next, it is used in the preparation of industrial chemicals. Used in the preparation of industrial chemicals like HCl, hydrochloric acid, HNO3, etc. So here sulfuric acid is used in the industrial preparation of hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, etc. And next, third one, it is used in metallurgy. In the extraction of gold and in the extraction of Ag, gold, etc. And as well as to clean the surface of metals. This is called as pickling of metals. So here sulfuric acid is used in the metallurgy during the extraction of silver, gold, etc. As well as it is also used to clean the surface of metals. That is called as pickling process, pickling of metals. It is used in the pickling of metals. as well as next it is used in the acid storage battery. Acid storage batteries, like the batteries used in vehicles, automobile vehicles, there is nothing but bus, car, etc. Those batteries contain sulfuric acid, so it is used in acid storage batteries. Clear? And next it is also used in the refining of crude oil. It is used in the refining of crude oil, sulfuric acid, to remove the sulfur impurities or tarry impurities. Like that we use what, sir? Sulfuric acid. And next it is also used in the, so that is in the production of explosives, the production of explosive compounds, like TNT, trinitrotoluene, TNT, dynamite. Next gun cotton, nitrocellulose products, which is used in gun cotton. So like that, sulfuric acid is used in the production of explosive compounds like TNT, dynamite, and as well as nitrocellulose compounds like gun cotton. So these are the uses of what, sir? Sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid. And apart from this, it is also used as a laboratory reagent. Widely used as laboratory reagent. Clear? So like this we can say these are the uses of what, sir? Sulfuric acid. It is used in the manufacture of fertilizers like ammonium sulfate, ammonium phosphates, like this, and used in the preparation of industrial chemicals like hydrochloric acid, HNO3, etc. And it is used in metallurgy to clean the surface of metals, pickling of metals, as well as in the galvanization process and in the extraction of silver, gold, etc. And it is used in acid storage batteries, automobile batteries. And it is also used in the refining of crude oil to remove the sulfur impurities. And next it is used in the production of explosive compounds like dynamite, TNT, etc. So these are the and used as laboratory reagent. Generally, industrial strength of a country can be estimated on the basis of amount of sulfuric acid produced or consumed by it. For suppose in India, for a year, nearly 2.5 million tons of sulfuric acid is produced in India. Whereas if you take US, that is in USA, almost 40 million tons of sulfuric acid is produced per annum. Compared to USA, in India, less amount of sulfuric acid is in production and as well as in consumption. Means less amount of sulfuric acid is consumed means industrially the industrial strength of our country is less, means the number of industries in our country is less than that others. Like this we can say. Compared to ourselves, that some more countries are there which are very poor in the sulfuric acid consumption or production, means they are industrially too weak. Clear? So like this we can say, this is about, means industrial strength of a country can be estimated on the basis of amount of sulfuric acid produced by it or amount of sulfuric acid consumed by it. Clear? So this is about sulfuric acid. Next. So the next compound of sulfur is sodium thiosulfate. Sodium thiosulfate or hypo. This is not there in this won't come in board exam in IPE, but this is an important compound of sulfur which will be given in objective point of view. So here sodium thiosulfate, it is nothing but sodium salt of thiosulfuric acid. Thiosulfuric acid is what, sir? Thiosulfuric acid is H2S2O3. Now in this is Na2S2O3 is called as sodium thiosulfate. Sodium thiosulfate. Na2S2O3 is called as sodium thiosulfate. And Na2S2O3 5H2O. Na2S2O3 5H2O. This is called as hydrated sodium thiosulfate or sodium thiosulfate pentahydrate. This is only called as hypo. So what is a hypo, sir? Na2S2O3 5H2O. This is hypo. Clear? Sodium thiosulfate pentahydrate is called as hypo. It's an important compound. Then next, preparation methods. Preparation methods of hypo, if you observe, that is the first preparation method is it can be prepared by boiling the sodium sulfite with the flowers of sulfur. So it can be prepared by heating or by boiling the sodium sulfite solution with the flowers of sulfur. Flowers of sulfur, then we'll get Na2S2O3 anhydrous sodium thiosulfate is formed. This on further crystallization gives what, sir? Hypo. Na2S2O3 5H2O. This is a hypo is obtained. So when sodium sulfite aqua solution is boiled with flowers of sulfur, will get sodium thiosulfate. This is mixed with sufficient amount of water and crystallized to get sodium thiosulfate or hypo, like this. This is the first preparation method. Then second preparation method is, another preparation method is when solution of sodium sulfite, this is I think all of you know the name of this one, sodium sulfite, is heated along with the sodium sulfide and iodine. When a mixture of sodium sulfite and sodium sulfide, this is sodium sulfite. When it is heated with iodine, then we'll get Na2S2O3, sodium thiosulfate is formed along with the formation of NaI. So like this we will get sodium thiosulfate, which on further crystallization gives hypo. So this reaction is called as Springs reaction. What, sir? Springs reaction. So how hypo can be prepared by Springs reaction, sir? By heating the sodium sulfite and sodium sulfide mixture with iodine. Clear? So that is about another preparation method of hypo. Next, the third preparation method of hypo is when sodium sulfide and sodium sulfite mixture is heated with sulfur dioxide. So when the mixture of sodium sulfide and sodium sulfite, in the place of iodine, if you take sulfur dioxide also, we get, or sir, that is here, sodium thiosulfate is formed, Na2S2O3. Sodium thiosulfate is formed. Like this we can prepare sodium thiosulfate here instead of what, sir? Hypo. Clear? Next. These are the preparation methods of hypo. Can be prepared by heating sodium sulfite with sulfur, or sodium sulfite and sodium sulfide mixture with iodine, or sodium sulfite and sodium sulfide mixture with sulfur dioxide. Next, physical properties. Physical properties, if you observe, it is colorless crystalline solid. Colorless crystalline solid. And it is a fluorescent compound. A fluorescent compound. What is a fluorescent compound, sir? Means on exposure to air, it loses water of crystallization. Means on exposure to air, Na2S2O3 5H2O, when it is exposed to air, it loses water of crystallization. As it loses water of crystallization and converts into anhydrous salt, so it is said to be a fluorescent compound. And it is soluble in water. soluble in water and form supersaturated solution. So this is one of the compound which can form supersaturated solution. Clear? So this is. And next we have to discuss about chemical properties. Chemical properties of hypo, if you take, there's the first one is thermal decomposition. Thermal decomposition, when hypo is strongly heated, first on exposure to air it loses water of crystallization. On strong heating it converts into sodium sulfate and sodium pentasulfide. Sodium sulfate and sodium pentasulfide or sodium polysulfide. So sodium sulfate is formed as well as sodium polysulfide is formed. Sodium polysulfide, sodium pentasulfide. Like this we can say this is about thermal decomposition. Clear? And other reactions, if we take other chemical properties, that is the second one, reaction with dilute acids. Reaction with dilute acids. So when hypo is treated with sodium thiosulfate, on treating with HCl, dilute hydrochloric acid, then what could be the product formed, sir? When it is treated with dilute hydrochloric acid, then we'll get here with 2 HCl, if we take 2 NaCl is formed, 2 NaCl is formed plus H2O is formed plus sulfur dioxide and sulfur are formed. Like this, when sodium thiosulfate is treated with what, sir? HCl, dilute hydrochloric acid, then the products are NaCl, water, sulfur dioxide and sulfur. Like that, it can produce sulfur dioxide gas on reaction with dilute acids. Clear? Then next reaction with AgNO3, silver nitrate. When sodium thiosulfate is treated with AgNO3, silver nitrate, then we'll get Ag2S2O3, white PPT is formed. Along with the formation of, when it is treated with this one, we'll get Ag2S2O3, white PPT. This is known as silver thiosulfate. White PPT is what, sir? Silver thiosulfate. Along with the formation of NaNO3. So whatever the silver thiosulfate formed there, this silver thiosulfate, white precipitate, immediately may undergo hydrolysis to form Ag2S plus H2SO4. So what will be formed, sir? Silver sulfide is formed, which is in black color. That means here what happens, sir, when sodium thiosulfate is treated with silver nitrate solution, when silver nitrate is in excess, then what happens, sir? Here silver thiosulfate is formed as white precipitate initially. Thus the formed silver thiosulfate immediately absorbs moisture and converts into what, sir? Silver sulfide, black precipitation. So this reaction happens, what, sir? If AgNO3 is in excess. If hypo is in excess, then what happens? Let us see. So reaction with AgNO3 just now we discussed now. So now if hypo is in excess, then what happens? Let us see. Then what happens, sir? Sodium thiosulfate, hypo, on reaction with AgNO3, guess what, sir? First we will get Ag2S2O3. Silver thiosulfate is formed plus NaNO3 is formed, right? So this is silver thiosulfate, which is in white color. Now if hypo is in excess, again one more molecule of hypo reacts with this silver thiosulfate and produce a complex. What is that complex, sir? Na3 AgS2O3 taken twice. So complex is formed. So if excess hypo is there, then this is a hypo. It reacts with what, sir? This white PPT, whatever formed here, that is silver thiosulfate. This silver thiosulfate dissolves in excess hypo to form a complex. This is sodium argento thiosulfate. Sodium argento thiosulfate. Like this we can say. So this is about reaction. Here if we take, this is 2 moles here, then here 3 moles, that's it. So like this complex is formed. So the formed white precipitate dissolves in excess hypo. If hypo is not in excess, it converts into what, sir? Black PPT. Clear? So this is regarding reaction with AgNO3. Next, fourth one is reaction with halogens. Reaction with halogens. When hypo is treated with hyposodium thiosulfate on reaction with iodine gives, it reacts with iodine to form sodium tetrathionate. What is this one, sir? Sodium tetrathionate along with the formation of 2NaI. So this reaction, hypo reacts with iodine to form sodium tetrathionate and sodium iodide. Here this reaction is used in volumetric analysis. So this reaction is used in what, sir? This reaction is used in iodometry. Nothing but volumetric analysis to find the concentration of iodine liberated. So like this we can say this is about reaction with iodine. Next, here hypo reacts with what, sir? Hypo reacts with moist chlorine and removes it as HCl. So here hypo is able to remove the chlorine in the form of HCl. So hypo is what, sir? So hypo acts as anti-chlor. Hypo acts as what, sir? Anti-chlor. So how it acts as anti-chlor, sir? If we take here hyposodium thiosulfate, when it is treated with moist chlorine, it can remove this moist chlorine. It reacts with the moist chlorine and removes this chlorine in the form of HCl. So here what will be formed means Na2SO4 is formed plus HCl is formed plus what else is formed means that is here sulfur is formed. What is formed? Sulfur. Like this, here it can remove that chlorine in the form of what, sir? HCl. That's why as a hypo is able to remove the chlorine in the form of HCl, so hypo is called as anti-chlor. What was the other anti-chlor we discussed? Sulfur dioxide. Right or not? Both sulfur dioxide and hypo act as anti-chlor as they can remove chlorine in the form of HCl. Clear? This is. And next another one is, that is fifth one, reaction with AgBr. Reaction with silver halides or particularly silver bromide, AgBr. So here hypo reacts with silver bromide and forms complex that is Na3AgS2O3 taken twice, sodium argento thiosulfate along with the formation of 2NaBr. Here NaBr only, then we can take here 2 moles. Clear? So when hypo is treated with AgBr, when AgBr is treated with a hypo, it AgBr dissolves in what, sir? Hypo solution due to the formation of sodium argento thiosulfate. Sodium argento thiosulfate. Generally this reaction is used in photography, black and white photography. Black and white photography. This reaction is called as fixing reaction. So what is fixing reaction, sir? Means here Why it is called as fixing reaction? The reaction of hypo with silver bromide is called as fixing reaction. Why it is called so means, the black and white photography, while developing the photographic film, when the black and white photographic film is soaked in or added to, that is dissolved, soaked in hypo solution, then what happens? Hypo reacts with this silver bromide and removes that silver bromide in the form of soluble complex. Soluble complex. Due to this, the unreacted silver bromide present on the photographic film can be removed. This reaction is called as fixing reaction. So while developing the black and white photographic film, here the hypo is used. When hypo solution is added on that black and white photographic film, then it reacts with the unreacted silver bromide and converts that silver bromide into soluble complex sodium argentothiosulfate. By that, your AgBr is removed. This reaction is called as fixing reaction, and it is used in the development of black and white photography. Black and white photographic reels were developed by using this hypo solution. This is about reaction with AgBr, fixing reaction. Another one is reaction with metal chlorides. Here, when hypo solution sodium thiosulfate is treated with FeCl3 ferric chloride, then what will get, sir? We will get ferric thiosulfate, Fe2S2O3 taken thrice. Ferric thiosulfate is formed along with the formation of NaCl. Here if we take 2, 3, 6 NaCl will get. So this will be in what color, sir? Violet color. So violet color ferric thiosulfate is formed. Violet color ferric thiosulfate is formed. This is about reaction with metal chloride, ferric chloride. So when ferric chloride is added to sodium thiosulfate solution, we will get violet color solution due to the formation of ferric thiosulfate. Uses of hypo. It is used in black and white photography. Black and white photography in developing of photographic film. It is used in black and white photography for the developing of photographic films. Second one, it is used as anti-chlor. It is used as anti-chlor to remove excess chlorine from textile industries, from fabrics. So to remove the excess chlorine from fabrics, we use what, sir? Hypo as anti-chlor. So it is used as anti-chlor to remove the excess chlorine from fabrics or in textile industries. Next, third one, it is used as laboratory reagent. Used as laboratory reagent in volumetric analysis. It is used as laboratory reagent in volumetric analysis. Clear? So like this we can say these are the uses of what, sir? Hypo. In volumetric analysis, to estimate the amount of iodine liberated in iodometric titrations, we use hypo solution. Clear? So these are the uses of what, sir? Hypo. Right. Remaining will discuss.